Let's do cloud hands, okay? So we are learning Yang 10 form, which are 10 movements taken from the gold standard, which is Yang 24. But each of the forms, Yang 10, Yang 16, Yang 24, Yang 88, they have a different sequence, not only a shorter or a set number of movements. So we're going to part the wild horse's mane, and we're going to learn how to get into cloud hands, okay? So let's just do it first and then kind of break it down afterwards, okay? So we're on a T stance. Okay, here we go. Holding our ball, we're going to part the wild horse's mane. Step out on an L, turn the hips and waist, square to the outward hand, part the wild horse's mane. Sit back, sit down, pivot, obey gravity, root down, T stance, holding your ball. Take an L stance, bottom hand advances, energy goes to the system, out through the tips of your right fingers. In a bow stance, to get into cloud hands, we flip the forward hand so we no longer see the palm. So can you do that? We're at 3 o'clock on a clock, and the palm is facing that 3. The left or back hand joins it, but the palm is facing you. So we're in the 3 o'clock number position. We're in a bow stance. From a bow stance, we want to sit down and sit back and eventually get into the 9 o'clock position, okay? So opposite from 3, we're into 9 o'clock. Listen carefully and do it. Sit back, sit down, pivot on the right foot. We're at 12 o'clock. There's a stem of the left hand, and the right hand is by your danten, I'd say. How do we get out to 9? You use your left heel, and you swing and turn your hips and waist. Is that 9? But how do you stabilize yourself? You flip your hand so that the right hand is up higher, and you close your feet. Turn the hips and waist, and what do you get to? 12 o'clock. But we want to get out to 3 o'clock. We turn our hips and waist a little bit more. There's 3, but 2 things happen. We flip the hand, and what? Open the feet. Move the hips and waist, 12 o'clock. What happens? 9 o'clock. We only flip the hands. Move the hips and waist, because the hands can't move by themselves. The hips and waist have to drive them. 3 o'clock, 2 things happen. We flip the hands, we close the feet. Brings you to 12. Going out to 9, 2 things happen. What? Change the hands and open the feet. Move the hips and waist to 12. Turn the hips and waist to 3. But 3 o'clock, we have to finish, we have to go into another movement, so we only flip the hands. But at 12 o'clock, we turn ourselves into a what? Golden cockerel. Push down, pull up. And the other side, push up and push down. And then we kick out, okay? So can you see that that's kind of neat, right? You set yourself up to get into first parting of the wild horse's mane. You finish parting of the wild horse's mane, and you set yourself up to be floating clouds. Then you set yourself up after cloud hands to be a golden cockerel on both sides, and then a kick out. So if you process this whole thing with me, I think there are 4 movements that we've just learned or tried to learn or experience right now. 10 movements, 4, it's not even halfway through the session, and we're almost at halfway, okay? But that's the nature of Tai Chi. We can skim the surface and get a bird's eye view, and there's lots more to dig down deeper and refine, okay? And use your body in the most efficient way. rather than being torn and stressed because we're not weightless, we're not shifting our weight, and things are just getting complicated. So we want to come to class with a sense of calmness, increase that calmness as we learn Tai Chi, leave class with more calmness. We want to address our core all the time, and we want to be able to use our hips and waists, not our hands. Our hands are not there for Tai Chi. They're there because they're joined to us by our core. We want to be able to use what's central to us. We want to create calmness. We want to be able to use our core. We want to be better able to center ourselves, both physically and mentally. And that's the process of your Tai Chi journey. Okay, I think I like that. Let's kind of perfect how we can do parting of the wild horse's mane to lead us into cloud hands and get out of cloud hands by being a golden cockerel and kicking out. Okay, follow? All right. Good Tai Chi posture, dropping the shoulders, Chi stance. Right hand on the top, left hand on the bottom, good size of your ball. Weighting down on the back or right foot. We're going to part the wild horse's mane. Chi stance, out and to the side, bottom hand advances to go up the horse's mane. Bow stance. Sit back and sit down on that imaginary stool. Twist step. Firm down. Chi stance, center with the ball. Step out and to the side, L stance, move the energy, bottom hand advances, part the wild horse's mane. We are at 3 o'clock. We want to get into cloud hands. Flip the forward hand so you no longer see the palm. Join it with the left or back hand where you can see the palm. We're in a bow stance. We want to get out to the 9 o'clock. But here's what we do. We keep our Tai Chi pattern for our feet. From a bow stance, we sit down and we sit back, creating an insubstantial front foot. We're going to twist that insubstantial foot, and we get to 12 o'clock. A stem of the left and a brushing of the right. 12 o'clock, halfway there. We're going to use our left heel and pivot out. Our hands got there, our foot got there, but we have to stabilize. We're going to have to flip the hands and join the feet. Move the hips and waist to 12 o'clock. What happens at 3? 2 things. Flip the hands, open the feet. 12 o'clock. We're going to get out to the 9, but we're only going to flip the hands. Moving the hips and waist gets us to 12, also gets us to 3, but 2 things happen. Flip the hands, close the feet, 12 o'clock. 9 o'clock, 2 things happen. Flip the hands, open the feet. 12 o'clock. But at 3 o'clock, we only flip the hands. We shift our weight at 12 to the left. We come up as a golden cockerel. Okay? Down, shift weight to the right, up, golden cockerel. Down, going to gather the energy, and we're going to kick out with our right. Gather the energy, right hand on the outside of the cross, right foot coming up, kick out, right. Down, left hand on the outside, left foot coming up, kick out, left. Holding our ball on a T stance. Okay, let's finish it up. Let's see what's entailed for us. We're on a T stance, we're holding our ball. We're going to step out on an L. The bottom hand is going to advance and ward off our opponent by pushing him out using our forearm. Then we're going to turn the hips and waist and make your hands staggered, and we're going to sit down and sit back. Sit down, sit back as if to grasp the bird's tail. Then we're going to contact at our wrists, Turn at our hips and waist from the middle, push the energy through. Separate the energy and roll back and sit down. That's what the choreograph says. From a bow stance, you have to sit down and you have to sit back. Push them back out. Do the other side. Sit back and sit down. Twist, step. Root down or to gravity, holding your ball. We're going to ward off our opponent on the left side now, okay? This is a T. Out into the side, L. Bottom hand wards off your opponent by pushing him out using your forearm. Turn the hips and waist, reposition the hands, and we're going to sit down and sit back. Use our hips and waist to turn back. Contact at our wrists, center of the body, push the energy through as if to grasp the bird's tail. Then push the opponent back out one last time. Twist step, open step, in step, embrace the tiger, right hand on the inside of the cross, move over, pull him up, push him closer to you, push him away. Drop your shoulders, flex your knees as you now lift the left heel off the ground, totally off, and you close your form. Okay, so that was like a sneak preview into the remaining movements, but you can see that if you know your feet alignment really well, then you will then concentrate and enhance it using your upper body. You also found out that Tai Chi is martial arts based. All movements are taken from the hardness or the force of martial arts, but streamlined in a way to make it a meditative dance, okay? But the intention of each of the movement still rides heavily on martial arts base. So you say, well, you know, I'm not in Tai Chi to develop muscles, and I don't want to be a bodybuilder, but you know, some of that will come with the territory because you are doing martial arts in a graceful way. So it's a plus, okay?